And more specifically, I'm going to be talking to you about how even your failed dreams still have a lot of gold in it. And specifically, I had a dream that I failed at, but it took me way beyond a point in my life than I would ever imagine that I would be, especially as a Black American today. So I heard this quote the other day, and I kind of mixed it up so it could be my own. It was called, "Aim for the stars, and even if you miss, you're guaranteed to hit something amazing." Has anybody ever heard that quote before or know who it's by? No? Okay, cool. Because one day when I become famous, I'm going to claim it as my own because I think it really fits my story. So 4 years ago, it was a cold winter day, kind of like today, except for there was more snow. And it was a day I'll never forget. And the reason why is because it was the last day I ever got to play organized basketball in my life. And I remember it was like it was yesterday. 3 p.m. on a Saturday, because that's when my college team that I played for played game. A few seconds left on the clock, drenched in sweat, tired, absolutely got annihilated. Just extremely exhausted as the final thoughts were on my mind of, man, my last basketball game ever. And with that, the last seconds on the clock was the end of my dream, which was to play in the NBA. You see, that dream had always been my dream for pretty much ever since I started basketball back in middle school. And it's what carried me all the way to that point, my final college game. And I can give you a little bit of background. It all started when I was in middle school, and it was the first day of tryouts. And if we've ever played sports before, we all know how middle school male sports kind of look like. You know, you get to the tryout. For me, I got to the tryout, and there was a lot of kids there. Everybody wanted to be on the basketball team. And as I look around, we all know that weird puberty age where you got some kids who have full facial hair, some kids who haven't grown or don't have any muscles, and then there's me, pretty tall kid, but super, super skinny. And as the trial kind of got going, I quickly realized that I wasn't the greatest at basketball, but I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew this would be my dream. Because as I was dribbling up down the court, I imagined the huge crowds yelling my name as I made shot after shot. I imagined what it would feel like to win a game and have your teammates lift you up or get handed the trophy. And in that moment, I made it my dream to play in the NBA because that's what I wanted for myself. Well, fast forward to my final years of high school, it was a great time because I found out I was going to be getting a scholarship to play in basketball. So my dream to make the NBA was getting closer, and it was great for me because I knew that my dream would soon be arriving. I just had to keep working at it. Well, fast forward to that moment, like I remember like it was yesterday. Time ran out on the clock, and there went the dream. Admittedly, I was nowhere close to making it to the NBA because I played at NAIA school, which is a school lower than NCAA Division One, which is usually where NBA players come out of. And even more admittedly, if you are familiar with the NBA, you will know that the NBA only has 450 roster spots for it. And just at the Division One level, there are hundreds of thousands of male athletes competing for that spot. And just at the high school level, there are millions of athletes. And obviously across the world, there are millions upon millions of kids trying to reach this same dream. But the dream does not necessarily end there because that dream took me way beyond where I thought I would even imagine I would be. With that dream ending came the end of my college career, obviously, as a senior. I was going to be graduating a few months after that. I had a job offer on the table. And even a few months after that, I would be passing my CPA exam. And for those of you that don't know, that's Certified Public Accountant. The reason why that's so huge, especially for the Black community, because if you know the statistics about specifically Black males, you would know that just a little over 50% graduate from high school. And then just a little under 20% even go to college. And then even less than that, get a college degree. And if you know the statistics for CPAs, out of the 650,000 CPAs across the U.S., there's only 5,000 Black CPAs. So you can imagine what that number may be if you split it up between male and female. And this is why it's huge for the Black community. And so I asked you guys this question. Have any of you guys ever had a dream that might have failed? And you might have thought, okay, that's the end of that. Anyone? You can raise your hand if you like. Anyone? I'm gonna guess yes, because I know my dream failed, but it still took me way further than I ever would have imagined. I had an interesting conversation. I'm also a basketball coach here in the local community where I live at Streamwood. And I always ask the kids that I coach each year the same question. I say, hey, who wants to play in high school? I say, who wants to play in college? And I say, who wants to play in the NBA? And usually you always get the same answers from some of these kids. They all say, I don't know, or maybe we'll see. And I always tell them the same thing. Make your goal the highest you can possible. Why? Because you never know where you may land with that goal. And I would ask the same for you guys as well. If you ever had goals in your life, make your goals as big as possible. Yeah, the NBA was a far stretch for me because only 450 people in the world get to play in that position. But look how far it took me. It got me a college degree, something I thought I would never imagine. I just wanted to play basketball. I didn't care about the college degree. I didn't care about the job. I didn't even care about the CPA. I just wanted to play basketball. But it brought me to a whole nother level of life that I never would have thought I would be. So with that, I'd say, and keeping things as copacetic as possible, as early as you can, and maybe this might be useful for you. Is it Uzar? Find a dream as early as possible and stick with it and put that in your path, because that could be your dream could be your stars. As you aim for those stars, even if you miss, you are guaranteed. I can promise you this: you are guaranteed to hit something amazing, Mr. Toastmaster.
If everyone could unmute and give Troy a big round of applause. Thank you very much, Troy.